So you're going to be entertaining someone.
America's finest charter school teacher Cassandra Tinio is preparing her students to write a personal narrative.
To entertain and to talk about an event that happened in your own life. That is what personal narrative means.
They're settled in on the floor around her to hear one read from a book. But first, a review of what to listen for and later replicate.
Action explains what happened using descriptive words like what. Verbs, okay, action words.
Tinio's students last year scored the highest on state tests for reading and writing among low-income third graders statewide.
But what is a chore, Hector V?
My mom told me to mow the front lawn. That's a chore.
With about 80% passing, they beat San Diego Unified's 48% pass rate and even outperformed their more well-off peers in the district, who had a 69% pass rate. Other classes in the Choice View Charter School also impressed, especially given nearly half are English language learners.
These kids were not so high when they started. Like, this is red. That means they're far below basic. And this means they became proficient at the end of the year.
School director Jan Perry points to a spreadsheet detailing student progress over the year. A daunting block of red scores morphs into blues and greens, indicating proficiency. How does the school do it? Her answer is surprising.
Alan Burson.
That's right, Alan Burson, the superintendent who inspired so much vitriol. A board trustee and protesting teachers likened him to a Nazi.
So this is kindergarten.
Perry was a peer coach for teachers and earned her administrative credential during Burson's tenure from 1998 to 2005.
Go to my office.
What many saw as totalitarian-style orders, Perry considered ingenious reform.
Wait for me, please. But what struck me was that the principal was the instructional leader, and the principal was in classrooms, visiting classrooms, and really setting the stage for student learning.
Taken by some as an intrusion, Burson's so-called blueprint for student success put coaches and principals in classrooms to help teachers improve their instruction. Burson threw all of his resources at improving reading and math scores. He extended English classes, he added special tutoring hours, and he got special permission from the feds to use Title I funds for low-income kids to make it happen across the district. The district began to see gains in its earlier grade levels. Then in 2005, the school board voted to oust Burson.
But then I noticed as the years went on, as new superintendents came in, they had their own agendas. And I was determined that I really felt this was so important for kids to do balanced literacy and to do math for understanding that I was determined to open up a charter school.
What did you do to make your writing fun and interesting to read? Tell what you did. If you did it, you're going to put a check mark.
You can spot Burson's legacy at America's finest charter school in Kim Brunetto's 5th grade classroom.
And if I've asked you to read, I would like you to bring your writing.
Reading, writing, and math take up most of the day.
The title of my book is called My Best Friend Destiny.
Visits from Perry or the on-campus reading coach or observing colleagues are common.
She tells me not to worry and she always makes me happy.
That's because Perry's biggest takeaway from the Burson years was the importance of consistent professional development.
I've had more training here at this school than I ever had before.
Pay attention to what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Brunetto's students last year had a 63% pass rate on the math standardized test.
We had feather beds. The mattresses were stuffed with chicken feathers.
Back in Cassandra Tinio's class, it's hard not to believe her students' high scores were more circumstantial than Burson.
You can have your eyes closed to help you visualize and paint the picture.
Tinio taught them for multiple years.
I did have my kids from kinder, and then I jumped to first with them. And then when I taught them in third grade, it was really like a family. We are our own little family. It's, oh, Miss Tinio, hi, member in first grade, member in kindergarten.
But Heather Latimer says it's reasonable to believe Burson is influencing the district today. She's Associate Dean at University of San Diego's School of Leadership and Education Sciences, and she helps run a school leadership program that got its start with Burson's help.
In many ways, you see a rebirth, I guess, of some of the ideas and principles that were there at the time that Alan was in the superintendency role. I would say that the other piece of that is that you see a lot of the same people. So a lot of the people who are in leadership roles now are people who were part of that first group of peer coaches.
The blueprint makes sense.
Catherine Nakamura was a school board trustee during Burson's last year as superintendent.
So we need to reach out to those teachers, we need to reach out to those parents because they need to see themselves in the blueprint for success.
And fondly refers to her own children as blueprint babies. They were students in the Burson era. Nakamura says Burson's efforts better be making their way back into classrooms.
I hope so. I mean, we spent millions and millions of dollars on professional development in the school district.
Alan Burson is now an assistant secretary in the Department of Homeland Security. Megan Burks, KPBS News.